What up, it's Warchief, and today I'm going to show you how to beat writer's block. Well, I'm not going to show you, I'm just going to give you some examples, and maybe you can take that to the next level and you won't have writer's block anymore. Because a lot of people are saying that writer's block really doesn't exist, and I feel like that's kind of true, and I'm going to show you some examples to do while you're not feeling inspired, and these ways might get you inspired to make music. Let's get right into the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to see more content or be the first ones to see more content from me. Anyways, let's go. Alright, we're inside Bitwig. Obviously have some songs up here. This is Gumby by Barely Alive, and then this is Dem I Turn by Rathero. We're going to explain why they're in here, and I made some little beat drop thingy I'm about to explain. So the first thing you want to do if you have a problem with writer's block, I usually, if there's a song or a drum pattern in a song that I want to learn how to, like, I guess program, because I can't play it, I don't have drums. If I want to program them, I load up the song and then I copy the drum beat. So this song right here is at 128. Like, I did some research, a little research, and then I'll let you listen to it. And I actually learned something new because I didn't know how to actually make this beat, and I was very curious how to, so I actually sat here for about let's say 5 to 10 minutes, and then I actually figured it out, and I'll show you what I came up with. This is just the kick and snare, nothing too special. It's a little faster, and they're not using a snare, they're using something that has a little late reaction. It's not an actual snare hitting right away. They have another kick, it seems like, not a kick but a tom. That's what it sounds like. That's pretty much this groove right here, and I was like, man, that's interesting, because it's kick every beat, but on the snares it's at the before the second and then right after the kick. So that, I thought it was like at the beginning every time. I thought it was like this, and it's not. That's just I was like, man, why am I not figuring this out? And then I just messed with it a little bit more, and then I figured it out. It's pretty awesome, pretty cool. I saved this as a MIDI, and I can use it anytime. Named it as 128 Moombathon Drum Groove, and it's in my library now, so I don't have to ever recreate it again, and that helps you in future production. So yeah, there's a tip. So anyways, next thing is, okay, say you don't feel like making stuff from scratch. Okay, just use loops. Like, listen to this. I have this drum loop, and I was like, man, I kind of want some 808s. I added my 808s. I was like, this kind of going somewhere. It's sounding pretty good. And then I just picked a random sample from one of my sample packs. This was a company ARP loop sample pack. It's at 140. I put it in as the same exact BPM, and I was like, this sounds pretty cool, pretty cool. And I was like, I wonder if I can manipulate this sample and make it sound different. So that's what I did. So I put in the sample, and then I made a effects chain, and I made it really weird. I added some EQ, a sidewinder, some serum effects. I had a filter in there, didn't like it. I pitched it down 12 semitones, and then, well, a full octave, and then so another EQ, had to get some of this mid-range I didn't really like, but I had to boost some of this I guess, would this be mid-range? Yeah, 443 would be mid-range. This would count as low, like 200 to 300. And then I raised it an octave after I did that, and then I didn't like that, so I left it, added some ROM. It's a reverb plugin, a peak limiter. I was going to use a compressor, but I felt like it just sounded better with a peak limiter, because I just wanted to have it not clipping, and then another EQ. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool, so I'll let you listen to it. It sounds like metal, and it sounds like a horror film, honestly. It's like nice and horror sounding, gothic sound. It just sounds dark. So I was like, yeah, that sounds really good, and I really like it. So I put that right there, and also I duplicated this chain right here, and then I turned all the highs down, and I cut the highs at like, what is it, 400, and then I kept everything else the same. That's about all I did there, so you could have some mid-range. So I'll let you listen to the mid-range. It just gives you a little bit more mid and low range, but that stuff usually gets cut out in the end process. So, but anyways, I'll let you listen to all of this right now. It sounds cool to me, and I just use samples and I manipulated a sample loop. So will it be a song? I don't know. I'll save it. Might come back to it in a year or two, or next week, tomorrow. Never know. Sounds really good. I like it more than the original. I really like what I did with the sample. There's another way. Just use samples to create if you don't feel like creating from scratch. And then the last part. This right here. This is Rathiro's Demi's turn. Okay, we're going to go to this chain. There's an EQ and a span. The span is just for monitoring. I can't even say that right. What is going on? So I'll press play. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually studying the song. I'm like, man, where's his mid side at? Where's his lows at? And you're just figuring out the song. Like, you're just learning how it is, the sounds are and what the frequencies are doing. And you're just teaching yourself it's a really good mix. I like how it's mixed. It's really good. And you're trying to understand how it looks, the mix looks. Also hearing it sounds really great, beautiful. I like that song. It's not like a genre I make, but I really, really like that song. To me, it sounds cool, but that's just me. But anyways, all you're doing is learning, trying to switch things up. You can see where his RMS is at. You also go into here, you can slow it down. You can change the side if you just want to see the full track and not the stereo, pretty much. You can do that. And then the EQ. I put EQ in here because say you want to just hear the low end, you can study the low end. And you can tell it goes pretty low. And then you can check out the mid-range. You can also make like a little, like a cone, I guess, right there. Figure out what frequencies hit where. The vocals and the tom is hitting really good right in this range from 326 to 2K. Really good. And yeah, that's another way to fight writer's block. Just examine songs that might inspire you to make stuff. Sometimes I'll be listening to stuff and I'll just out of nowhere open up my DAW and I'll make music. And that's the next thing. Just listen to music. That's the easiest one. All you have to do, this is it. If you're playing a game, don't play Call of Duty or something crazy. You're going to be like concentrated. Just sit there, put the game music or the game on mute, turn on some music on a mix, random mix, just any Spotify mix, a music you're into, and just listen. And you're just listening, and you'll eventually be like, man, that song sounds good. Save it to your library, and then still listening, save that to your library, and then all of a sudden you can come back and be like, this part in this song was really cool. I wonder how he did it. And you can jump into your DAW, figure it out. Maybe it's a drum loop or a drum pattern. You can redo the drum pattern and be like, oh, I really like that. I want to make a song with this drum pattern in it. It's not really stealing because think about it, every drum pattern ever created is already out there in samples, in loops, everything. So you're just creating it the way you wanted to create it. It's just all art. So don't worry about people calling you fake or any of that stuff because you're not. You're just creating what you're hearing in your head. Sometimes it might be relatable to other people because I've heard songs in genres that sound really identical to different genres, but it's so weird what they did with it. And it's cool. I like hearing stuff like that. It's really interesting. Every person is its own. So don't worry about that stuff. And then the last one is pretty much what I was getting into. Just put a song in your DAW and redo it. Just redo the whole song. Just every drum pattern, hit for hit, everything. All the stabs, all the bass drops, just copy that song, and it is extremely good practice. If you're working on that track and you're trying to copy everything, you'll be like, man, I don't like how he did this, so I'm going to take those drums away. You don't know, but you could probably create your own track. You don't even know what's happening. You'll be like, yeah, I was copying Rathiro's Dim Eyes Turned, and it turned into this track, and it's crazy. It doesn't even sound like Rathiro's track. It sounds completely opposite, and I made it just because I got inspiration from his track. So yeah, that's it. There's ways to get around writer's block. You can do it, and these are great ways to do that. Did a lot of talking. That's it. I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, leave a like, comment down below. Tell me if you do any of this stuff, if you save, mess with samples, copy tracks, stuff like that, or if you don't believe in writer's block, or you think it is like, I heard someone say it's an excuse, but I don't think it's I don't know. That's a touchy subject. Some people just don't want to make music some days. They don't have to. It's their choice. You know what I mean? So these are some ways to help you out. They help me out a lot. I do a lot of these. They help. They really, really help. Especially just messing with the drum patterns and the samples help me make tracks. It's awesome. You are awesome. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, ding, like and comment down below, and I will catch you guys next week. Be safe. See you.